boys and girls, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited tonight. Welcome to Thin Line Defense, your favorite guns and gear channel. And this is kind of an exciting night for us for two reasons. One, it's our first live stream, hopefully streaming to Rumble. So if you guys are on Rumble, if you could let me know. I don't know if comments on Rumble will show up on StreamYard like YouTube ones do. But reason number two, Walsh isn't here. And Joe and I have already talked about what we're going to talk about tonight. Granted, we had our video this last week of the 3A torture test. So a couple things I need from you guys. If you are on Rumble and it is working, try commenting. It says I got a little error. It says can't post comments to some destinations. So it might not pop up here. But if you can, okay, our favorite libertarian said it's working on Rumble. So awesome. So good to hear that. We got some comments. But even beforehand, we got some wizard comments.
I don't even have a drink, dude. I had to drink a second Monster to get through the second half of the day, and my stomach's not agreeing with me.
Okay.
So I'm not drinking tonight. Sorry, boys and girls. You're on your own.
So
I think everybody should have to take an extra drink because I don't get to.
Let me see if I can do something real quick, guys. Because people are saying that they're commenting on Rumble, but the comments aren't coming up here. Michael Farley is asking, would you prefer us to watch on YouTube or Rumble? Honestly, wherever. It was just something that we decided, you know what? We're getting 0 views on Twitch. Like, what's the point of that? So if you want to watch somewhere, hey, it's working over here on Rumble. So I'll have Rumble up over here so I can look at the comments, but I won't be able to see them.
Yeah, I guess to answer that question, if you want to be more engaged with everybody that commenting and stuff, then YouTube would probably be your best bet. But we're trying to afford everybody whatever platform they want to watch on.
Yeah. So Croak says he's commenting on Rumble, but I don't see your comment on Rumble, Croak. So this is new for us, guys. Hopefully we can iron out the details after this live chat. What I'll do is I'll do some Googling on how to there's probably something I did on the setup. It's way different for Rumble than it is for YouTube. With YouTube, it's super easy. We already have our account linked and all that stuff. And as you're setting up the StreamYard, you just select where you want to stream. Rumble isn't one of the options in StreamYard, so you had to do this thing where you create the live on Rumble, and then you have to come into StreamYard, and you got to post the URL, post the stream key. So like Joe said, Mike, if you want to engage more, again, I'm not seeing comments. I saw there they are. Okay. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong spot. So I do see comments on Rumble, but I just don't see them here. So I'll be going back and forth. But this is kind of cool. We have 11 people, 13 now on YouTube, and we have 18 on Rumble. So awesome, man. Oh, Caleb, our local tech wizard says Rumble comments do not come through to StreamYard. So maybe that gives us an idea, too, of there's a couple other platforms out there like OBS and some other ones. So we'll maybe look at a different streaming platform. StreamYard is just very, very user-friendly. But maybe there's some other ones that Walsh knows about we could do. So Caleb on Rumble says there's no settings that let Rumble comments come through on StreamYard. Okay. But it's a good backup for us, and it's something that we talked about some of the problems that we have with Rumble on how they maintain ownership of your videos if you want any type of monetization or want them to kind of market for you, and that's why we're not super active over on Rumble. But it's something that I'm not going to say we see the writing on the walls, but it'd be nice to have a good backup. And Croak mentions that in Rumble too. He says it's a good backup.
Yeah.
So
especially after today's show.
Yeah,
we might need that backup after today's show.
I was chatting in our Discord and in the chat between Walsh, Joe, and myself regarding a case law I was reading up on a challenge or a transcript for an injunction that came out of a California legal case Now, granted, we are not lawyers. We are not giving legal advice, but we definitely have been around the block a little bit. And we have our own point of view on how we believe things should be run and how we believe two-way cases should go. But the case in particular that I was reading about, that I was commenting about on Discord, is one out of California where it has to do with the handgun roster. And basically, this is very, very much a nutshell approach. Basically, what California is saying is the magazine disconnect, the chamber loaded indicator, and the micro stamping, which is part of a law that they had passed over a period of years. They're saying, well, no, that doesn't ban handguns because there's still handguns on the roster. Now, there's no, I believe since 2013, no new handguns have been added to the California roster. But California's argument is, no, this isn't banning handguns. If a company were to do those three things, have the magazine disconnect, have the chamber loaded indicator, and do the micro stamping, then it's not going to be banned. It'll be on the approved list. So this isn't a ban.
But people have been trying to get their new gun on the approved list, and they can't. So it's a catch-22. I'm just excited that Jason is getting into the weeds like I've been doing for the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, here's the difference though. Joe watches videos on YouTube, like Armed Scholar, Armed Attorneys, and he sends us links, and then he gets mad at us when we don't watch them. Like, hey, what'd you think about that video? Like, oh, bro, I haven't had time yet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I'm actually on page 34 of like 58 pages, the actual transcript for a hearing that happened on the 10th. But Firearms Policy Coalition just posted the transcript today. So that's where I am. I was reading it, and that's where I was getting a lot of my facts from. What the lawyer for California is saying, and then the lawyer for Firearms Policy Coalition, the plaintiffs, he's basically giving them a big middle finger, and it's fantastic to read because even as like I wish I was there, I wish I could hear him because I could just sense purely based on the text the amount of sarcasm that had to have been coming off of the plaintiff's lawyer.
Yeah. It's crappy that they don't allow cameras into federal court.
Yeah.
I hate that. Oh, and we should have precursored the show because Walsh in here. We're going to go more of the laws. I wouldn't say politics, but I mean politics.
It's definitely
politicians make the laws. So
yeah.
Excuse me. We're kind of going that route. If you think that the government should be able to control whatever they want, and the Second Amendment should be greatly scrutinized, then this probably isn't the show for you.
No, better yet,
come back next week when Walsh is here to
Walsh is like a wet woolen blanket falling on our fire of hope.
Yeah.
So I'll do one better. I'll say, if you think all gun laws are infringements, go ahead and hit that like button and smash that Rumble button.
Yeah, and stick around. This show's for you.
This ship
Dude,
is
there are two other laws that recently came up. Well, two other things important, Jason, that maybe you have or haven't heard of. Number one is New York. So ever since the what's it called? Man, I can't remember the name.
The Bruin.
Yeah,
Bruin.
Ever since the Bruin decision, New York has gone off the deep end on trying to pass every single gun law that they possibly can. And their newest one is I forget what they called it, but it was like
well, it's just
something about children.
It's a Bruin response bill is what the 2A community have come to label these things as. Any of the states that have tried to create a law in response to Bruin, they just call it the Bruin response.
Right. So now New York is doing that thing. It's something like children guns or something like that. And that's what the bill called. And sorry, I'm getting notifications. Something at my front door, I think. And my dogs are going off. But anyway, hey, actually, I'm going to mute this and go check that out. I'll be right back.
All right. So we'll get through some comments while Joe is away. So Nate, I do see the comments now. And it's funny, Prepper Book Club, he's laughing because he's on Rumble and YouTube and Facebook. So he's triple streaming us. Appreciate that. And appreciate any likes that you guys do and comments. It's going to be a fiery one tonight. I'm kind of off the chain, so to speak. And we joke about like Walsh just doesn't really like to get into politics. This isn't really going to be politically focused. It's going to be very Second Amendment focused chat tonight. So if you guys aren't up for that, hey, go find the wife and enjoy yourself. And if Walsh is watching, I hope he is. Walsh, we love you. We miss you. Prepper Book Club says, rest in peace, Cody. Pour out a 40 for the homie. Tactical Jawa in the house. What's up, Joe? Good to see you, bud. So Zach Fett has a good question. Does micro stamping technology even exist? I believe so. There's probably people that are more knowledgeable than me on it, but I do think it exists. I just don't think that there's any company that's doing it on their firearms. And honestly, personal feeling, I think that if Glock or Springfield or someone were to come out and say that they're going to start micro stamping their pistols to comply with California law, I think that I can easily see that company just getting lambasted from the Second Amendment groups and folks that support the Second Amendment saying, screw you then, I'm not going to buy anything from you. I think it would really hurt their sales if they were to comply with a tyrannical law like that. Big Truck says Locals is also a great platform. Follow all my favorite creators there except y'all. I think Locals is associated with Rumble, and this is kind of new to us. I mean, there's definitely a focus that we're really trying to focus more on, like growing this as a business and really getting more involved. I think Joe's video froze, so maybe I'm just going to be soloing it tonight. Rest in peace, Cody. You can now kayak through the Sky River in the spirit realm. Poor Cody. Shadowman says, yes and no, it is a pain in the butt. I worked in the machine shop. We did a little. Okay. One of the issues with microstamping is that means you cannot change out the striker. At least that is my understanding. Yeah, so Joe talked about, Joe's gone. Joe talked about this before we started a live chat. One of the things that they were trying, the glare is probably horrible for you guys. I'm sorry. One of the things that they were trying to do was say, well, we want you to microstamp different items. So you could have P320s, let's say, but we want this part microstamped in this lot number of guns, but we want this part microstamped in this lot number. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just something Joe said that he was reading about. If it is that way, if it's not just a blanket, the striker on every gun needs to be microstamped. If you need to alternate where it is, that's even less likelihood that a company is going to do that, because them setting up their machines to do that I just can't. The amount of time, energy, and money that would go into having those processes set up, I think would be a detriment to the company if they were to do that. Michael Farley says, so it'll be like the last time Walsh was here. Exactly. We're just pot stirrers. Yeah, so Caleb says, Joe, you're missing your PC tonight. Tactical Jawa says, I hate being in New York so much. The thing that's sad, hey, it's not this way with Second Amendment stuff as much as it is with other things, but it seems like it's getting harder and harder to vote with your feet. It used to be you didn't like the politics in a certain state, well, you just move somewhere else and you're good to go. With certain things, it's less and less likely to be able to do that. You can't. Well, abortion just got kind of thrown out, but abortion was one of the things. Like abortion was legal nationwide, or if you were against gay marriage and wanted to move to whatever Idaho where that was outlawed, you could do that. It's less and less likely now. Oh, Joe's back. There he is. Yeah, so Shadowman has a really good comment. He says, some people don't understand what shall not be infringed means.
Well, it's worse than that. Like, I know I'm going to get some hate by saying this. Like, there's something that I believe in, my personal beliefs, right? Like, I don't want the crackhead down the road to be able to buy a tank. I'm sorry, I just don't want that. But they've taken it so far and it's so ridiculous now that it's stomping on our rights. And I'm so tired of the argument like, well, our forefather couldn't have foreseen, weapon of war being sold to the general public and semi-auto and all that other stuff. But they're saying that based on their First Amendment that the forefather couldn't have seen there being internet. So I don't know. It's so ridiculous.
There's a comment I was laughing at, Joe. Your favorite libertarian says, "Dude, I smashed that like button so hard." Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Harry's
so
here.
saying that child guns in New York, you'll have to look it up if you want the actual name of it. But the basis of it is saying, so now for a gun to be sold in New York, it have to have like 3 different things, or one of 3 different things. One of them being a trigger that you can adjust up to 10 pounds. It's so nobody under the age of 5 can fire the firearm. If you're 6, then you're fine. You can shoot all you want, I guess. But like the trigger adjusting up to 10 pounds, like think of all the manufacturing. You're going to have to put an adjustable trigger in every handgun that go up to 10 pounds in order to sell in New York. If that passes.
Yeah. So we got some interesting comments to get through. J-Dub says, FFLs being the only ones to legally sell guns is horse poop. Love all the states that have private party sales. Well,
yeah, that's trying to go away too.
I can almost guarantee that every state does have private party sales.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Prepper Book Club says they are throwing out a bunch of stuff and trying to see what sticks. Absolutely. And this is kind of what I would say would be like the death throes of the anti-Second Amendment community. Reading through this, and again, I'm only about halfway through it so far, but reading what this California lawyer is saying and how she's trying to argue this point. The other big sticking point that they were getting on was the common use standard from Heller. And California is arguing that, well, just because an item has been purchased a lot doesn't mean it's in common use. And the example she uses was Springfield Hellcats. She said, let's say Arizona sold 1,000 Springfield Hellcats last week. Well, that's a lot of sales, but does that mean that that gun or that firearm is in common use? And the counter argument that the FPC lawyer threw out, and I apologize if it's the plaintiff lawyer threw out, I don't know if he's with FPC or not, was really good. His stance, or their stance, is basically, look, we're not saying that the Hellcat or the P365 macro or whatever particular model needs to be in the roster because it's in common use. We're saying all handguns are in common use across the United States. Revolver, semi-auto pistol, they're not making a distinction. They're just saying handguns are in common use. Therefore, all handguns should be allowed to be carried in the state of California.
Yeah, but see, it's a moot point because they have, nummified. I don't even know what word to use, but you cannot get an AR-15 in California as we know it, and that's the most common use gun in the country.
Yeah,
but yet they still do it. I think it's more like the Cold War. I think that's what the leftists is doing. They have unlimited funds. I mean, look who backs the gun control agenda. I can't say leftist. Sorry if you're on the left. Sorry, I didn't mean it. If they have gun control agenda, look at the depth of their pockets. Isn't like Warren Buffett funding all this?
No, George Soros is one. I mean, billionaires. They have billionaires behind them.
That will give
Michael Bloomberg
countless amounts. Yeah, Bloomberg. There it is. That will give countless amount of money. So they jump, throw all this stuff out there not to see what sticks, but they know also that the courts take years upon years.
Yeah.
So even if they don't get to sell gun from California for 2 or 3 years, then they consider that a win. And then it's found unconstitutional and nothing happens about it. Well, but yet we still have 15 of these same types of laws that still have to go through the court system.
Yeah, this goes to what Prepper Book Club is saying as well. I think that they're just throwing out a bunch of stuff and they're trying to see what sticks. I'll say this. I mean, there are some good lawyers that are fighting the good fight for us. And I can't stress it enough that putting your money where your mouth is, donating to Firearms Policy Coalition, donating to the Second Amendment Foundation, Gun Owners of America, those people that are out there fighting the good fight, this stuff costs a lot of money. You see who they're up against, and really, when you look at the what our side is doing, there's a lot of fighting that's happening, but it costs a lot of money to file this paper, pay for these lawyers, print stacks of paper. So even if it's something at like $100 once a year, heck, you spend that in Starbucks. Don't buy Starbucks for a week, and you could probably donate to FPC. Just something to think about.
Yeah. Or whatever you want to donate to. We're not FPC doesn't give us anything, so
yeah,
we're not advocating for just FPC, but they're leading the good fight in a lot of realms right now. That's why.
And they're funny. They're just their social media, whoever their social media manager is, I promise you, he is not getting paid enough because that dude is he is on fire with any type of politician. The amount of responses that I see from FPC to like David Hogg or to any of the anti-gun politicians is just beautiful. Michael Farley says New York got mad that they were told they have to let people get CCW permits, so they just passed a law saying you are restricted from carrying pretty much everywhere outside of your home. California's trying that too. I forgot what they call it, like sensitive places, I think, something like that. Like you can't carry in sensitive places.
Yeah, because that's the way that the case law written. But yeah, they're considering everything a sensitive place. Well, New York took it a step further though than California did, because New York said that if you don't have express permission from the private landowner, then you're in violation. Yeah. So like you can't go into stores, you can't go anywhere like that. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it is coming down where the old adage we would joke about where it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. I think that's a saying that really a lot of us are going to have to put it to use. I joke with some of my family and friends that know I'm avid in the Second Amendment world. I'll carry at church, I'll carry anywhere, and if they were to say something like, well, this is a gun-free zone, or oh, you carry at the school, that's a gun-free zone. Like, listen, if I'm there, it is not a gun-free zone. I promise you that. Caleb says, for those of you that are watching on Rumble, I believe the live chat only shows on a desktop. I can see it on my computer, but can also see the main comments too. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm seeing the live chats, although the last one that I see is one from Prepper Book Club saying that he's triple streaming. So I haven't seen a comment over there in a bit, but I'm checking. Dan's here, says, my brothers in Christ gather round to praise the Lord and a sweet babe Jeebus. Can I get a holla holla? What's up, buddy? Hey, PVI Bez is here. I haven't seen you before, PVI Bez. Welcome. Good to have you here, bud. Says, got my MEPC on right now. That's what this is. Wearing my MEPC, and this is the AK placard. I'm not a huge fan of it, but they did send this to me.
Anything AK sucks.
I knew you were going to say that. Croak says, LOL, Jason's Discord tone is triggering me. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a tone on Discord, do I? I don't know.
Yeah, I've just gotten to the point now, like, if you look at, I mean, their case law, their actual judges saying this in court. Like, we have so many laws on the books now that nobody can follow every law. You're gonna break the laws, and that's what the government counting on. Look at simple traffic stops, right? If they follow you around for 5 minutes, they can find something. Oh, that was only 75 feet before the turn, not 100 feet that he signaled. Well, I turned right at an intersection and turned right into a parking lot. There's not 100 feet signal before. Doesn't matter. Driver license registration. Like, that's the point that we're at with all laws, especially gun laws. It's almost to the point where you can't comply even if you're a lawful gun owner. And then we buy all this stuff like stabilizing braces that are legal for 10 years, and then all of a sudden they changed the rule.
Yeah, I posted a video in I don't know where it was. It was in Discord somewhere. I think it was in the 2A News and Updates channel. Maybe not. Yeah. So Tulsi Gabbard had a video, and it was titled "The ATF is Out of Control." Fantastic video, especially from someone who's, I would say, a she's someone on the other side of the aisle, but she's willing to talk to people and listen and try to reason with them. Hey, Caleb's commenting on Rumble. He says waves at Jason, so he knows we are still here. LOL. Thanks, buddy. So I'm missing something though, because I don't see a comment from Ironsight, but I see Prepper Book Club says nice at Ironsight Army. Michael Farley says thanks, Ironsight. And then Ironsight comes in, Wizard Jimothy, Wizard Get Your Nuts. I missed something. I apologize. I didn't see what that was. I scrolled back up. I don't see anything from you, Ironsight. I apologize. Mike Farley with some wizard dance magic. Croak says the Cali registry sucks for Californians wanting newer models, but it kept the Glock Gen 3 parts in full production long after they would have been. That is true, and that is something too that was discussed. Basically, the state of California is arguing you don't need and I apologize, I'm not a 320 SIG P320 person. This is just one of the examples that they gave, but it was like, why do we need to add the SIG 320 X carry? You have the SIG 320 compact, and so it's still, they were telling the judge like it's just minor cosmetic differences. That's all it is. So we're not banning
but it's not up to them. That's what makes me mad about the whole thing. Yeah. It's not up to them. And this is somebody arguing on the behalf that doesn't know a handgun from a cap gun. Like, honestly, if you showed them a toy gun and a real gun without them touching it, they probably couldn't tell you the difference. This is the same person at what's her name, Booth, that would have been like, oh, we need to ban that bullet and we need to ban that gun because it's scary looking.
Yeah, Steven Crowder.
Yeah, Steven Crowder, Booth.
Prepper Book Club says, what good is microstamping going to do if they don't prosecute the cases anyway? Just seems like a pinch for law-abiding citizens.
Well, that's the thing. If they'll prosecute those cases, they'll prosecute those ones. Now, if you've done all the bad things and you're in jail, then they'll let you out on the street. You've assaulted people, you have violent crime in your history, they'll let you out on the street. But if you, as trying to abide by laws, if you have something illegal gun related, you go in jail in California. Well, you go in jail.
Well, I think this is going to be a good point that Joe, anybody that's been in the military, how often adultery happens. I don't know how many people are aware that the UCMJ makes adultery illegal. It's a punishable offense under the UCMJ. How many cases have you had, Joe, where you saw that adultery was the only charge that was brought up?
It's secondary.
Yeah, I saw.
So what happened is somebody comes forward and says that they were sexually assaulted, right? Mm-hmm. So we start running an investigation, and it turns out that the encounter was completely consensual. But now the subject, you find out that they're married, and they still get in trouble for adultery, even though that it was completely consensual.
Yeah.
Yeah, the secondary charge for adultery, crazy.
So it's similar. What I see, what Prepper Book Club is bringing up here, this is going to be. I doubt that they're going to go after someone solely for this. But if they bring someone up for something else, like, oh, you have 4 pounds of meth in you, and you don't have a gun that's microstamped, okay, we'll tack that charge on as well. But really, and then they're gonna be able
or it's the complete opposite, right? Somebody pull you over, even if they do an illegal search, it'll get thrown out. But they pull you over, and you're dumb enough to answer questions and say yes, you can search my car, and they have nothing on you, but you've pissed them off because you've asked for their badge and their name, or you're recording on your phone, and that just pisses them off. They're going to find something, and that might be the thing that they find. And that's a no joke. That's a felony. That's 10 years. Punishable by 10 years in jail, and you can never own a firearm again. Like that's the scary part. Is they're turning law-abiding citizen into felon because they have an agenda, because they want the world to work the way they want it to.
Yep, I agree. Okay. So, the comment. So, Shadowman sent me a message on Discord. Said the reason why everyone was saying thank you to Ironsight, he gifted. What was it? Mike Farley. Mike Farley got gifted a sub from Ironsight. So, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Jake Murphy says my gun sat locked in an arms room for 3 years in Drum. F New York. So Fort Drum is New York, right? Is that what you're referencing? Caleb says, I thought the idea with microstamping was to put a number on the case when it was fired. Thus, it has to be the striker. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Croak says, a lot of feet voters down here in Florida now still worried they'll carpetbag and not embrace the freedom. I agree. And that was something that Andrew Yang was really trying to push. He was telling people, we need to move over here and vote this way. So I wouldn't surprise me, man. Prepper Book Club says running into that in Arizona right now, Croak. Mike Costanza, born and raised in the South Bronx, we all carried guns. I shouldn't have read that comment. Croak says, so has New York banned pools, toxic chemicals, and cars because they kill more kids individually than guns?
Yeah, I mean, more people are killed every year in our country with hands and feet than they are with firearms. And I think that's including suicides with a firearm.
I don't think so. No, suicides with firearms is like 10 plus thousand.
Yeah, Google it.
Hands and feet is
somebody Google it. Yeah. I think knives or blunt objects are like 40,000.
No, it's not that high. For death, actual murders? No, it's not that. I showed it in my last video. Someone hasn't watched my last video.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was actual firearm murder, or excuse me. Yeah, firearm murders that occurred. This was like 2019 was the stats that I showed. It was just over 10,000, and of those, over 6,000 was handguns. 300 were rifles, but hands and feet was like 1,000 or 1,800.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Than that.
No, it wasn't that high.
Thanks, Colin Noor. You led me astray.
This is why you need to watch my videos, Joe, and become educated. So your favorite libertarian says, "Shh, those sales are private." Hey, Doc Dole's here. Medic. Good to see you, bud.
Yeah, but we'll see, man. Did you hear about the 3 county, I think in Texas, that sent a letter to the ATF saying that every single gun owner in their county had a boating accident and lost all of their firearms? This is like the actual
commissioners
government sending the letter to ATF.
Yeah.
If it went the individual, then the ATF would get them for falsifying official statements or something. But they said, so if you come out with any gun law, gun registration, anything like that, don't come to our county. We don't have any guns anymore.
Mike Costanza says, here in Arizona, we have a joke of a governor. Yeah, man, you guys missed out. Carrie Lake seemed pretty awesome.
Yeah. She was wrecking fools.
Big Truck says, there's a difference between leftists and Democrats. That's true.
Yeah, there is.
I feel like Democrats can be reasoned with. Yeah. Leftists, nope. Mike Farley, Prepper Book Club. Yeah, I'm hating what they are doing in Arizona. It's been going downhill for a few years now because of all the California refugees that moved here. Dr. Dole says, yeah, Arizona just had Sinema switch to independent will hurt the Dems in the next Senate election, so the GOP has a chance. It might just be Carrie Lake. We'll see, man. Fingers crossed.
Here's my thing is military for 20 years. I've law enforcement, everything. So don't take the wrong way. I'm not anti-government. I'm not anti-law enforcement. But the 20 year in the military, I'm always counting on elected representative to fix and solve the problem. That's not what's going to fix and solve the problems. It's the people that are going to fix and solve the problem. We can now no longer sit back and wait for our elected official to, stand up. Nothing gets done in Congress. I'm sorry, but nothing
That's
gets
good
done in
though.
Congress.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, because
we don't want stuff to get done in Congress. We
right.
want there to be a stalemate. That's a good thing.
But like here at the ATF, because nothing got done here at the ATF, rewriting all the rules
That's true.
for frame and receiver, for braces, for and I don't want to get too political, but there are people running on campaigns saying that if I'm elected, this is what I'm going to do, and then they're elected, and then they turn a non-elected government agency against the people.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's really bizarre because when you look at Congress as a whole, their approval rating is like less than 10%. I mean, it's really, really bad. But the amount of folks that get reelected every year, it's
Staggering.
it's staggering because everyone thinks, well, it's not my congressperson. It's got to be all the other congresspeople are bad. My congressperson is good. It's just not something that I think is going to be fixed. I think it's going to have to be, there's just going to have to be a long period of civil disobedience. And I think people need to wake up and need to start getting ready. And I'm not talking about.
But the thing is, they're already civil disobedience, right? It already exists. There are people that own, stuff that they're not supposed to, or they didn't get rid of their bump stocks or whatever.
Yeah.
They're already disobedience. It's when the onesie twosie get caught and prosecuted. That's when the local community has to step up. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's at the level. I don't think it's at the level that it should be. I mean, Croak was talking about, and forgive me, Croak. Maybe it was Cajun, but I thought it was Croak that said in our Discord that he was at his local gun store, and there was like a bin of braces by the door. People were coming in and getting rid of their braces. I don't think there's as much civil disobedience as you think there is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's
but
I'm
saying
masses, but
it needs to be the masses. It needs to be the masses having civil disobedience and just.
I agree, but then when they like we were saying, right? So okay, everybody civil nobody abiding. We'll focus on the brace rule, right? Okay. So nobody abiding by it, but nobody in the government know who have braces and who doesn't, right? Yeah. It's not until you get pulled over for a stupid tail light out or whatever, and they see it in the back of your vehicle, or they get called to the house, and for some reason you open the door and they're hanging on the wall behind you, something, then you get arrested for it. But the local community, right? We'll use where I'm from, like Colorado Springs. Could you imagine somebody going to court here locally, either local court or federal court, but in Colorado Springs, and there's 10,000 people trying to get into the courtroom? You know what I mean? That's that's the civil disobedience that we need. We need to start standing. We need to know what's going on in our local community and start standing for our rights in our local community, because it doesn't matter. Like they could pass a federal law that blah, blah, blah. I mean, look at what Texas is doing, and that's an entire state. Look at what Texas is doing with the suppressors, right? They're giving the big middle finger to the ATF, like Texas as a state, and they even passed a law for suppressors. Yep. If we were doing that in all of our local communities, they wouldn't prosecute people anymore.
Yeah, and I think what I mean? This really comes down to something that I've shared in our team, and I share with my family a lot. When you really break it down, you think, how much influence do you as a voter have with what's going on in the White House or with what's going on in DC? Zero. You have 0% influence, really. But how much influence do you have on your local school board or in your city council or the county commissioners? You have a lot of influence there. You have a lot. Your vote means a lot there. And so why don't we start? I think that we should be focusing more, like what Joe's saying, on our local government and making that a fantastic place to be. And once you got that squared away, then maybe start working on your county and then maybe on your state. But in this idea that we're going to get support or help from DC, I think it's a misguided thought process. We really need to be focusing on first our homes and then our local communities and making sure snuff.
I was all excited when people in Congress started standing up for the pistol braces, and they had that big spectacle where everybody talking, and there are a lot of different representatives from different states and everything that they were saying, which was grand. I mean, it was awesome that they did that, but what came out of that? What has come out of that? Like, they have the ability to shut that down because they control the purse, right?
Yep.
And it's like, okay, ATF have gone off the deep end. They're doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. We're no longer funding the ATF. Like, that's what they can do, but what have they done?
Nothing. And this goes back to something that we've talked about before when Walsh wasn't here, that I don't think you can seek help from the left or the right side of the aisle.
No. But now let me flip the script, right? And let me bring it back down to the local level. So if your local law enforcement, okay, for your state, we'll say everybody in your state, law enforcement, was not willing to put up with this, the ATF or any other federal agency could not do anything in your state. They couldn't do anything. Because if they need to go somewhere, who do they call? Almost all federal agents have to work by themselves. And if they need to go do a knock and talk or go somewhere, who do they call? They call the local police to go with them.
Yep.
Now say they go up and knock on the door and they get their guy. They got him. Where do they take them? They take them to the county jail. And they prosecute them, or they book them in at the county jail. Where do they prosecute them at? At the courthouse right down in your local community. Most federal agencies only have office space. They might have an interview room, they might have some evidence, they might have some other stuff, but really they only have office space. If they did not have the support from the local law enforcement, they wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah. And that comes down to there's political reasons behind that. The sheriff, let's say your county sheriff is going to say, no, I'm going to send my guys to that task force because I know that task force is going to give us money, or they're going to pay for my guys overtime. That's money that I then have to spend somewhere else.
Right.
So
but your sheriff is an elected official. And if there are 50,000 of you, or if you're from a town, we'll say 1,000 people, right? Or a county with, we'll say 100,000 people. And there are 50,000 people that went down to the courthouse last week because of this.
Yep.
How likely is it that sheriff is going to support what they're doing?
Yeah, I think so, because it depends on his inclination. If he's thinking, man, I want to stay as the sheriff, then I'm going to have to flip my script and be on the side of those 50,000 that went down there. Otherwise, they're going to vote me out next election. So I hear you. We're getting behind on comments, so I apologize. We're going to go off the rails, guys. Oh, yeah. I hope you're prepared.
Walsh isn't here.
Tactical Java says all of the New York private property stuff has a preliminary injunction against it. Big Truck. If they're doing this to us, this is a great comment. If they're doing this to us while we're armed to the teeth, imagine what they'll try to do if they actually could take our guns. 100%. J-Dub, carrying in the bank, sweating bullets, hoping I'm not printing. I think I am printing all the time. Croak in Rumble says, give me a ping, Vasily. One ping only.
That's why I carry small back, because if somebody sent that I'm printing or makes a big stink of it, I'm going to automatically identify a female and claim sexual harassment.
So stupid. There's some weird comment here. I don't know what this is. Not yo average Jose says us Rocket Gorilla 100 Goat Rocket Diamond. I don't know. Shadowman says I kind of want an AK-105 like kit bagger. I don't know what that is.
Like everybody has AK in it, so just
awesome.
Stop being delusional.
Yeah, I'm not seeing if there are like super chats or anything like that. I'm not seeing any. Usually on StreamYard they pop up, but nothing's popping up like that. So Croak says all these gun control laws are just hacks to get around the very clear second. They want them gone, but barring that, they want them painful. Oh, that's a really good way to put it. Your favorite libertarian says, "Preach, Jason and Joe, preach,
Nice.
hallelujah." Shadowman says, "I would think that a desk pop is in order." J-Dub, when guns get put in evidence, it takes ages to get it back. When my brother got shot and paralyzed, they took all the guns in his house and they sat in evidence for about a year and a half. Doesn't surprise me at all. A year and a half sounds like a quick turnaround.
Right.
Dan says, I escaped from behind the orange curtain a while back. The reality is that the police union could squash any new anti-2A laws if they wanted to. Instead, they write exceptions in for themselves. Yeah, it's as someone that has worked in that arena and in Washington State did not do that. So the magazine ban, anything over 10 rounds, there is not an exemption for law enforcement individuals, only for the agency. If the agency was making a purchase, then there's an exception. And I was kind of happy about that. Like, it sucks that I can't get some magazines, but I'm glad that they took that approach. Although I don't know what the orange curtain is.
Oh, Wizard of Oz reference, maybe?
I don't know. Caleb says, this is what the web says microstamping is. Microstamping technology uses lasers to imprint unique markings onto the tip of a firing pin and or breech face of a firearm. Okay.
Yeah, and this is how dumb they are. This is how dumb politicians are, right? All you have to do is buy a different firing pin. So, I can't go into that. I'm going to give criminal too much info. But come on now. It's not a serial regulated part.
Not yet. Don't give them ideas, Joe.
Well, they're just dumb.
Oh, you did say that.
You're not fixing anything.
Yeah. Seth Brooks says, more deaths happen from tripping and falling than by guns. Yo, I'm tripping.
Don't tell Jason that. He's going to try to correct you even though numbers are wrong.
I will prove it to you, Joe. They also say it on the breech face so you can never change the slide or striker, or you would be changing the microstamp. Yeah. Harry.
Yeah, so you just change the microstamp, and then if something happened, then you switch back to your stock stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
Harry says, unfortunately, there is no repairing this country through policies at this point.
No, it's gone. They always add rules and laws, but they never subtract, right? So anybody that says that they're a law-abiding citizen, they're mistaken. You cannot abide by every law that they're on the books.
The dude says the national divorce can't get here soon enough. What's his name? John Lovell just did a video on national divorce. I haven't watched it yet. I don't know if it's any good. Angry Sarge said, popped in to say, what's up? I'm on Rumble, gents. I see you over there, Angry Sarge. Says, hi, Wizard. J-Dub, there are so many gun owners that are straight fuds and ask how high when told to jump. It's true, man. And that's why I hate going to the range. I hate going to the range because there's just fuds there. Can't fire more than 2 rounds per second. You can't do this. And I want to see your paperwork for that suppression you have. It's crazy. Only cuckolds comply. Agree. Big Truck, we have to become the ones in Congress. Ooh, like that. Very zen of you. Remember the Bundy Ranch incident? I do. Harry says, Jason, is that the MEPC? It is. With the Defense Mechanisms AK placard that I'm not a fan of. Big Truck says, to be fair, Democrat politicians represent their voters' interests far more than ours represent us. 100% agree. I was talking about earlier, President Trump, for all of the good things that he did, the judges, the anti-2A judges that he appointed to the appeals courts, lifetime positions. Bill Barr was in favor of the assault weapons ban. Trump admittedly said, it's take their guns. We'll deal with, what do you say? Deal with due process later. So Trump's in favor of red flag laws. He's in favor, at least he brought people into his staff that were in favor of the assault weapons ban. There's not a lot of friends that we have on the right side of the aisle.
No, and here's the big difference that I see. Again, Joe, personal opinions, is there's a complete difference in mentality. So people are on the right are live and let live, right? Like you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't offend me, or not offend, but affect me. Like Ben Shapiro says it the best. You can stand in the street and wave your arm in any direction. As long as you don't make contact with me, I don't care. That's how people on the right are, right? Like it's your life. Live your life the way you want to. But then people on the left are everybody should live the way that I want them to live.
Yeah.
And that's where they go out and they're just dominating in the political realm and getting all this stuff passed and all the other stuff because we're like, oh, just be cool and do whatever you want. We're not going to tell you how to live your life, but the left is.
Harry says there's no Democrats versus Republican. It's them versus us. I think it's a fair way to put it. I would consider myself a single issue voter, with Second Amendment being the issue that I'm concerned with. And there's been a lot of flack that I've caught from local politicians when I would call out the folks that were running for state offices on that. Where do you stand on this? Because here's this news article from you, and you said that you were in favor of the assault weapons ban. They hate that I highlighted, but I think it's good. I think it's good for us to go out to those meetings and talk to these people that are running for local offices. Shine a light on them. Ask them the hard questions because they're not going to be getting it from anyone else. So I was laughing because I sent Walsh a message. I said, Walsh, don't watch the stream tonight. LOL. Big Truck says, I just hate the policies the left want to enact. And if recent contests prove anything, they prove how far they will go to win by any means necessary. 100% agree. Harry, Dems and Republicans and federal government are in cahoots. Uniparty. Dude says facts, can't trust any politician. They're all on the same side and just play the public against themselves. I agree. Big Truck. I got pissed by the 2020 results and went from a regular old former sheriff's deputy to my county's Republican executive committee vice chairman in 2 years. There you go, man.
Good for you.
Hey, Croak did have a super chat. Thanks, man. So I see him when I'm scrolling, but there's something going on tonight where at the top, usually because I'm behind. I mean, I'm like 15 minutes behind on comments. So usually it would pop up at the top showing that I had a super chat and I could scroll to it. I'm just not getting that. But I appreciate
either we're talking way more than normal or people are commenting way more than normal. I can't even tell.
It's probably both. I'm not that far behind. I'm 7 minutes behind on comments.
Because you just said 15, you liar.
Yeah, I know. I did. I don't have my glasses on.
See, you over-exaggerate. That's why I can't trust your numbers.
Hey, you know what? 7 is close to 15 if you squint.
Mm-hmm.
Big Truck says, we can fix the system to what it was intended to be, but nobody is going to do this for us.
Nope.
Dan says, praise the St. Ronnie Barrett, and never forget, I will not sell nor service my rifles to those seeking to infringe upon the Constitution and the crystal clear rights it affords individuals to own.
Hey, Hollywood tried to show us exactly what was going to happen. If you remember Demolition Man, that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, but all electric car. You can't drive gasoline-powered cars. You can only eat what they say to eat. There's booths that fine you for cursing. Like, they showed us exactly how it's going to be. Be well.
Caleb says, what good would microstamping do unless there is a database to connect the owner to the microstamp? That's what they're doing. Yeah. If you remove suicides and inner-city gang violence, America's gun violence is alarmingly low. One of the stats that I like to point out when people say, they talk about firearm murders, do you know how many gun stores there are in Mexico? There's one legal gun store in the entire country. It's in Mexico City. Yet their firearm murders are about 3 times higher. So just because
because their number one supplier is the United States ATF.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do they have to go and buy them? They just ask the ATF, and the ATF sends them firearms that we can't even legally own.
Yeah. So Harry says, "Why don't you like the AK placard? I got one too, but I've not used it." So it doesn't
suck.
It's just super loose, and I kind of get why, because
it has to be.
You have different
banana.
Yeah, you have different sizes. So I have. Let's see if I can reach it real quick. I have a Magpul mag as well, and it fits in there a little better. These steel ones, I don't know. It's just maybe if I had a placard wrap to go over it, it's just a little loose for my liking. Croak.
I don't know what I'd do with my placard, or else I would try my AR mags that are 760 by 39. I'm pretty sure they fit.
Okay. Big Truck has it half right. Democratic politicians convince their voters they're working in their interests and then feed them the interests. I support the latest thing. Voters are fed that thing. It's true. Croak says, Dan, except an Australian company just bought Barrett. Think they'll be as pro 2A? Hell no. They stop civvy sales pretty soon. Yep. Harry says, like Tactical Rifleman says, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm an American. Your favorite libertarian says, voter fraud. Sorry, guys. Had something from the Michigan election in my throat. Mike Costanza says, Jason and Joe, outstanding live chat tonight. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks. Make sure you tell Wolfsat next Thursday. Don't tell him what it's about. Just say, hey, last live chat was the best one ever.
Yeah. My wife's in here laughing. We told the crew, said, hey guys, it's gonna get kind of spicy tonight. We're talking Second Amendment stuff.
Yeah.
She goes, oh yeah, spicy.
Yeah, your version is spicy. I don't have to worry.
Let's see here. So Big Truck says the left wants us to be demoralized. They want us to think we can't change anything. They're wrong. Tuck your chin, plant your feet, and punch back.
Yeah.
A great, not for Joe. Joe, plug your ears. But a great book to read. Joe doesn't know how to read, so I don't. Patriots by James Wesley Rawls. Rawls, I think that's his name. It's a book that came out in the 90s, but it talks about an economic collapse in America and this group of friends. One guy was he was an ex-Marine, and so he had all these other friends. They lived in the Midwest somewhere, and he would teach them how to do land nav, and he taught them how to shoot. And so they developed this little party. And then when crap hit the fan, they all bugged out to a house and property that they had in Idaho. And it talks about what they did once they got there. It's a great book.
Cool story. So I'm going to take your book and I'm going to trump it with a movie called The Patriot, where this guy was, minding a home business, didn't want to get involved in anything, and then a tyrannical government came and killed his sons, and he took hatchets and cut them all down. Yeah, that's way better.
That's way better. You're right. Let me eat some crow. So your favorite libertarian says, but how do I use the 3 seashells? Nobody knows.
Be well.
J-Dub says, Joe, how's that leg drop feel on your leg? You think he actually just worn it?
It's right here. Yeah, I did put it on.
Croak says, enhance your calm, Joe.
No, I can't. So I was talking to Not Jason about this before the show, and I don't even know if I should share it, but I'm going to. I was raised by military parents.
Joe.
Huh?
I said, I don't know if you should.
Yeah, probably not. So raised by military parents. My parents, like my mom, my dad, my biological mom, my grandfather, all retired from the military. So I was raised by military parents. I joined the military and did 20 years. Like my entire life had kind of been compliance. I bucked the system where I could, but you can only buck so hard when you're in the military and stuff. And now I'm to the point where there's no more. There's no more complaint. I'm gonna do what I want as long as it doesn't put me in jail for too long. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna fight the good fight. I'm digging my feet in. Like, I think where where you're finally pushed too far, and I think that's where I've.
There's a movie
about
that, isn't there?
Yeah, it's called The Patriot. You should watch it.
Yeah, that's right. Someone was telling me about that recently. Who was
that?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, great movie. The guy though, minding their own business.
Yeah. Harry says, "It's too loose for you, Jason." Sounds like a personal problem. It could be the mags. I just don't see me being able to run with this thing without a loaded mag flying up and smacking me in the chin.
Don't worry, I got what you were saying.
Ironsight says you can get tighter AK placards, but you got to have the mags with bullets and locking lug facing up. I don't know if I like that.
No, thanks.
Crow.
So when an ear breaks, you just get all the rounds in your face.
Yeah.
Money shot of rounds.
Big Truck says, Croak, I agree with the idea that I support the current thing crowd is told what to think. Completely agree that they have a I need mommy to tell me what to do mentality.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse because, I'm guilty of this, but as society, we already talked about it. Jason reading the actual transcripts, and I go to YouTube to get my info. Yeah. As a society, we've gotten to that point where we don't research our own stuff, and like I said, I'm guilty. We don't research our own stuff. We trust people to research it for us and tell us what it contained, but bias didn't come out.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's something that we were trained. Joe and I worked for the same group for a while, and we were trained to be unbiased. But the amount of bias that we saw from leadership was mind-boggling. So I hear you. I live that life too, Joe. Yeah. Your favorite libertarian says
you're still stuck in it, though. I'm not.
I got 13 more years, bro.
Yeah.
Lord, make me fast and accurate.
Yep.
Croak says the Patriot or Falling Down. I've never seen Falling Down.
Neither have I. I Google that right after I get off here.
76 Liberty is here, and he says Falling Down is a classic. So
I'm definitely going to research it.
Liberty. I don't know if you heard the good news. We're actually streaming on Rumble tonight too, so you can find us over there. Thin Line Defense Co. I think we're going to make this a weekly occurrence. So our 3 streaming platforms are going to be YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble from now on. And we'll see about posting more videos. I kind of went into a rant on Discord about why you don't see us very active on Rumble. We do have some videos over there, but it's the whole monetization. And if you want to be able to make money on Rumble, you have to give the rights to your video over to Rumble. And again, reading into the fine prints, it is forever. So there's no time limit on it. It's not when you decide to cancel your account and you go away, everything reverts back to you. If you have a video on YouTube and then you put it on Rumble and you select that option where Rumble monetizes it and they advertise it for you and they promote it, they'll actually send a copyright claim on your video for YouTube. So there is another option, one that we're doing for our live chat over there tonight, which
Why are you going off the deep end off of that comment? I'm so confused.
Because
he said Falling Down a classic, bro.
Yeah, but his name is 076 Liberty, and he wasn't here earlier, so I'm telling him that we're also streaming to Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And his name, 076 Liberty, sounds like someone that would be on Rumble.
Oh, that's where you drew the conclusion.
Hey, you know what?
I was so confused. Why are we going down this road again?
There's a couple hamsters up here that know what they're doing.
Yeah, they were running in opposite direction on that one, but that wheel came to a screeching stop.
Speaking of which, Harry says Falling Down was another excellent movie.
See, I need to Google that. I haven't seen that one.
Pepper Book Club. I think Joe likes The Patriot.
I do. I love that movie.
Harry says, you must, I repeat, must watch Falling Down.
I'm going to research it.
I'm going to, you know what?
You want me to leave the chat right now?
What I'm doing right now, I'm doing it right now.
I only have a phone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Falling Down.
Yeah, what can you stream it on?
Oh, I've seen parts of this. It's the one with, what's his name? Michael Douglas. Yeah.
It took nothing for me. What can you stream it on?
Let me see.
For free.
Prime Video.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have that. Cool. That's it.
Voodoo.
That's all I needed.
Oh, you got to pay $2.99
on Prime Video.
Yeah, you got to rent it. It's not free.
What can you watch it for free on?
According to Google, none.
Oh. Probably not going to happen.
I've seen clips of that. I've never seen that movie though. Croak posted a clip. The customer is always right. Yeah. 076. Sweet. I've been busy the last couple of weeks, but I'll subscribe over there. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Shadow Man says, love how you used your Hill People gear bag for your last video. It's the only, I shouldn't say it's the only chest rig because I did just get another chest rig. But I really enjoy it for hiking because when I'm hiking, I like having the padded belt or what do you call it? The hip thing around my hips to support the weight of the bag. I can't think right now. What is it, Joe?
How did we go to talking from cool stuff and cool movie to stupid, what's it called?
Chest rigs?
Yeah, chest rigs, and then you talking about how you need padded crap for your hip.
Well, you
can tell that you've been out of the military for too long, dude.
Well, even the Alice pack had padding on your hip, and you can't carry a holster on your hip if you're carrying a heavy hiking bag. So having what Hill People refers to as
how about you just put your drop leg on and go,
while you're
dude.
Hiking through the woods?
Yes. What are you talking about? When else would you wear your drop leg?
So dumb.
You're so dumb, dude. Like that's the place that you would have your drop leg on. Yeah. Like if you're like I'm driving in my car, then I understand why you don't have your drop leg.
You're hiking through the woods, like to go camping. I get you.
1,000,000%. Why don't you have your drop leg on?
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm so confused.
You're absolutely right. I believe you. Dan says, "Who is the best, most balanced, and reliable news commentator today, and why is it Tim Dillon?" I've seen Tim Dillon on Joe Rogan's podcast, but I've never actually listened.
I don't want balanced anymore. I don't give two craps about balanced anymore. I really don't. I don't know who that is. And I don't know if they're any good, but I won't watch anything that's balanced.
Michael Farley says the hamster is dead, but the wheel is still spinning.
No, what happened if there were two running in side by side, and one of them fell and got stuck on the wheel? So it just slowed down a little bit. He's back. He's back. He got up, shook it off.
J-Dub, you know what a better movie is? Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart was a good movie.
You like it better than Patriot?
No.
Your favorite movie. Michael Douglas just wanted breakfast. That's all he wanted.
I don't even know what we're talking
about. Watch the movie. That's the movie Falling Down.
Oh.
What can you watch for free on Pirate Bay? Oh, man.
True. I haven't tried Pirate Bay in forever. I mean, sorry, I've never tried Pirate Bay. What is that?
Shadowman says, Hill People gear is life-changing, Joe. They're out of Grand Junction.
It's a chest rig.
No, so it's made for runners mainly, like, and I think remember that guy that like hand fought that mountain lion in Colorado? Was he biking or running?
Running.
He had a Hill People gear kit bag. They call it a runner's kit bag that he was wearing.
Oh, then why didn't he shoot the mountain lion?
He didn't have a gun with him.
Idiot.
Snacks and stuff. Ben says falling down on Hoopla is free.
I don't know what Hoopla is.
Me neither. And Harry says my drop leg holster allows me to carry an extra firearm on my third leg.
That's a bit scary, bro.
Sometimes I gotta read the comments before
you read them out loud. You guys screen them.
But good news, we got through all the comments.
Oh dang!
Yeah, golly, guys.
So what?
This is a super fun one for us.
Back to making or what?
What we were talking about earlier with getting back onto the Second Amendment kick. Research it. You know, if there's a law that you don't like or just learn about it so you can talk intelligently about it.
No, do you know what? Do you know what all politicians fear?
What?
Not being elected again.
Yeah, probably.
That's what they all fear. I mean, look how much money and how much time and effort is spent in just saying whatever will get them elected and going on tour and doing all the other stuff.
Michael Farley says, anytime there's a movie I want to see, but it's got outspokenly anti-2A actors in it, I raise the Jolly Roger and take to the high seas of the internet. That's a good point, man. Caleb says, I believe Hoopla is based on what your library has. I'm not sure. There are some really cool apps out there, though, like that. I forgot which one my kids use, but you could, Joe, I don't know if you're aware of this. So a lot of public libraries, they have tons of movies that you can, and audiobooks, things like that, you get for free if you download whatever app that they.
You're assuming that I go to a library. Why would I?
You don't have to. You don't ever have to go to the library. You can do it all from your app. You just have to you can do it all online. Get a membership at your library, it's free, and then you get access to all these movies, all these audiobooks, regular books. You could do it all from your phone.
Dude, it's still a library.
It's true.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
J-Dub says chess rigs are nice because they make you so light that you can outrun the bullets. Here's my big anti-chess rig rant. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me if you were to say, I'm going to go somewhere, and the place that I'm going, I think I might need to use my gun, so I need to have something on me to hold extra ammo. If you think you're going to go somewhere that you're going to get in a shootout, why would you want to not have armor?
Right.
Why would you
now,
not?
If you say I wear a chest rig to go hunting,
Yeah,
because nothing's shooting back at me, and all the extra pockets are for like my fruit roll-ups and my duck call, I'm with you. Let's do that.
yeah.
But no.
Your favorite libertarian says, didn't have a gun while hiking in mountain lion country? What an idiot. He didn't. He was running in mountain lion country.
I still agree with that.
Yeah, I still agree. I have a friend, and maybe this is a good question for the group. So I have a friend who's an avid runner. He's also a YouTuber. His channel is Disillusioned 1811. The dude runs like 60 miles a week, like just ungodly amount. But he's been looking to get a little gun to keep with him, and he's thinking, I think it's a Glock 29, which is a subcompact 10 millimeter Glock, to carry with him in his Hill People gear kit bag.
Actually, I do need to figure out something. That's one of the few times that I'm not armed. Like, obviously, sleeping, taking a shower, and running around my neighborhood.
You don't have a shower gun?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Dude, too much humidity. I'm not going to clean my gun every.
That's when you get one of those little sealed containers. You just stick it to the wall.
Yeah, don't have that.
Huh, weird.
Don't have that.
Dude,
if anybody were to see me naked, they would die of fear anyway, so I'm not worried about it.
Well, you're not hairy, so I doubt that.
Yeah, but I put on some few pounds.
Harry says, your favorite libertarian. What if he was looking for a challenge? So
he found it.
Yeah, he found it. The joke around that guy was the mountain lion that he actually fought with his bare hands and ended up killing was it wasn't a bait, it wasn't a cub, but it was like a teenager. Right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But some of the memes that came out of that was his girlfriend or his wife staring at him at the news conference, like she was going to jump that dude's bones when she got home. She was very turned on. Another YouTuber says, thinking you can out reflex a mountain lion is madness. You just juke it. You just got to juke.
Yeah.
Juke the mountain lion.
Yeah.
Their favorite libertarian says, fair point, Mike. Croak says, preach the armor, Jason. Can I get a witness? I'm almost to the point that a chest rig is a meme and a way for the vet bro sewing shops to sell more merch. Yeah.
Dang it, dude. I've always been anti-chest rig, but now I'm thinking about this. I kind of want to run through my neighborhood with a chest rig and a gun right here every time I go running.
So my latest video, Joe, that Hill People gear kit bag that I have has Molly on the front of it. And Alien Gear Holsters makes a Molly adapter.
Yeah.
So part of the video, I have my shield. I think it's my shield attached to it, but it's the alien gear holster, the shapeshift one, you can like rotate it 360 degrees, so you can kind of put it whatever angle you want it to.
So I have a confession to make. Like I stopped since I left. I'll say that since I left the sheriff's department, I kind of stopped running, and I need to get back into it. And this will be a good excuse to get back into running in kit.
Yeah.
And then just running level 4 and a firearm. Dude, I can't wait until the cops get called on me.
What's that movie? Or no, not a movie. It's a TV show, Generation Kill.
Yeah.
Rudy was running like.
Oh yeah, with a gas mask.
With his gas mask.
Yeah.
Tactical Jawa says you guys should check out Arms Preservation Inc. They make anti-corrosion bags. They are dope. Oh, hey, there you go, Joe, for your shower gun.
Dude, you're gonna have to get. It's gonna take you 2 minutes to get your gun out.
No, you just pop the little seal and boom, there you go.
No.
My wife's gonna be like, "What is this doing in here?"
Yeah, I have so many firearms hanging up on the wall throughout my house now. I'm not even gonna ask her that one. Now, back of the toilet? Yes, dude, I'm with you.
Shadowman says, I use my kit bag for holding my seer stuff and to hide my boomstick from the tree huggers. Ooh. Your favorite libertarian, shower gun, shower gun. Everyone else is chanting too, right? Caleb says, just make sure it's not a black powder one.
Sure.
If you could dodge a mountain lion, you could dodge a ball. Shadowman, Joe, I will buy you a runner's kit bag, and if you don't like it, I'll take it off your hands.
Game.
Don't do it, Shadowman.
Can I put a gun in it?
Yeah, you can.
Wait,
a handgun.
Can you see the gun?
No.
So I'll take you up on your offer, but I do kind of now. I said that I'm drawing a line. Like I'm not. How can I put that?
Well, you could do like what I did, where you mount the gun to the molly on the outside if you wanted to.
Will it bounce around everywhere?
I don't think so. I thought the alien gear one held it pretty good. But you have to. What I found is you have to have the kit bag loaded up, so it's kind of stretched against it. If you don't have anything in the bag, then it does kind of bounce around. But if you have the fabric stretched out and packed, you're fine.
Because I kind of want to be open carrying when I do this.
Can you open carry in Colorado?
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Sure the hell can. That's why I want to do it.
Croak with a super chat says, happy 223 day, folks. St. Eugene will protect. Thanks, buddy. Mike Farley says, I never really understood the point of a chest rig. If it can do the same thing as a plate carrier but without armor, then what's the point? Like, why would I not want armor? Yeah.
We've said that a million times. Welcome to the family, buddy.
Yeah, the dude says chest rig is fine if you're in an LRRP. I don't know what that acronym is. Long range recon position, maybe. If you're in an LRRP/sniper element, otherwise no.
I've seen G.I. Jane. They were just reconning too, and they had a whole firefight on the beach. So no.
Your favorite libertarian says, I laughed out loud on the dodgeball reference, J-Dub. Nods in the dark in full kit on the electric skateboard is the move, Joe.
Yes, I agree. So once we get to 1 million subscribers and Walsh has to send me nods, I'm with you.
Ironsight says, I just keep a Maritime 590 in the shower. There you go. Right next to the shampoo. Shadowman says, Joe, what color do you want? There's a lot of their bags are
Jason has.
The coyote brown one.
Oh, that's what you have? What went that one that went like the Arctic camo?
Oh, that's from Tracer Tactical.
Oh, is there something cool? I don't care. Is there something cool? Whatever, dude. It's free, and if I don't like it, it's yours. So you pick.
Buy whatever one you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's not going to like it. Prepper Book Club says, just have a spear gun in the shower. Ooh,
I like that. I like that.
Keep it mounted up a little high. It would probably never get wet. Right? Shadow rainbow theme. J-Dub says rare breed trigger is about to lose their lawsuit. When that happens, force reset triggers will officially be illegal. Oof.
Yeah.
Good thing I don't have one of those.
The law says a single action of the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You get
prepper or bang stick. LOL. Long range recon patrol. Okay. LRRP. Long range recon patrol. Shadowman says, Joe, look at their website and see which one and color you want. Dan says, if you can open carry, then why not just run in a belt setup? We can open carry here, but I'm too shy.
I'm not too shy. But, man, maybe I will. Maybe that's what I'll start doing to try out the belts is I'll go running with a gun on my side. I need to find a better setup, though. I like further drop legs, like what J-Dub in a tub sent me, the perfect J-Dub, by the way. I like where my thigh rig actually down on my thigh. Jason, he likes what the True North adapters, and then Walsh trying to make fun of me, but he don't know what I'm talking about, so I school him every time. So I don't have any like high mounted holsters.
Yeah.
But with this Partyland QLS, I'm sure I can figure something out.
Another YouTuber says, why nods when the Psionics Opsin is real magic? I haven't tried it yet. That's a digital night vision, right? Shadowman says, that is why I use a musket for home defense. The cloud, I mean, the noise would probably scare him away. The dude, in open carry, can you have a gun on a backpack or does it have to be on your actual person?
It doesn't matter.
How much control do you have to have, legally speaking? It might vary.
As far as I know, I'm no lawyer, but as far as I know, it doesn't matter.
Check your local laws, guys.
Yeah.
Michael Farley says, I need a new belt. The AWS LAB belt I have was good, but I've lost weight and now it's too big. AWS Lab.
Yeah, dude. I'm still. What's the one that I have, Jason?
Silly Flips.
Yeah.
The Axle.
The Axle. I'm still in love with that belt. So.
Yeah. We got tons of battle belt videos.
Hey, but I kind of skimmed over that. Good job on losing the weight, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I went the opposite way. I'm afraid that my belt might not fit because I went the opposite way.
Mike Farley does a lot. He does security, a lot of patrolling, a lot of walking around.
Oh yeah, dude. I need it. It snowed again like crazy. So here in Colorado, it was 62. What's today? Today Thursday.
Yep.
So it's 62 degrees yesterday, and it was a low of 7. Or no, 62.
He's down about 25 pounds, Joe.
Good for you. Today Thursday. So it's 62 degrees on Tuesday. And it went a low of 7 degrees on Wednesday, but that was like in the middle of the day. So if you go from 2 o'clock to 2 p.m. 1400 to 1400, it was a 55-degree shift in temperature.
Croak and Tactical Jawa are both saying core battle belt is great if your weight varies. Tactical Jawa says, I'm rocking the core essentials belt. Big fan of the way it adjusts. Might grab an EDC belt of theirs. I've heard good things. Going to shop to check them out tomorrow afternoon. I have the core battle belt. I really like it. I really, really like it.
I will say come back next week when Walsh is here. He'll talk your ear off for like 10 minutes on that question.
He will, but he's a big fan of the defense mechanisms belt, and it's good. I like it. I don't think it's my favorite. So this is something, Joe, that thanks for the super chat, Shadow Man, but I was doing it. You have to pay me money to do it. So this is the kit bag that I was using in my latest video. And they do have multicam. Is that still coming up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Multicam looks cool.
Yeah, so it's just a big pocket, and then there's the.
Is there a Velcro thing in there or what?
Yeah, there's
how do you secure your gun in there?
There's a Velcro thing in there.
That, like the strap going over top of your firearm?
So you have to, it's up to you. You can buy that Maxpedition holster adapter that Velcros into it. they do sell a separate thing that holds your gun in there. But yeah, that's the one that I was using. I think mine might be the bigger one. But yeah, the multicam one is
multicam. Yeah, to answer the question, if you're asking me, but the likelihood of you getting this back is pretty high. I'd give it like a 60 to 70% chance. So choose what you want.
So I'm trying to see which one I have. I think I have this Recon kit bag medium because I have the zipper on the front, right? I honestly don't remember.
I don't know. I just want to be able to stick a gun in it.
Yeah, you can stick a gun in it though.
And without the gun bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. The dude says 50-degree swings in a day reminds me of Arizona. Yeah. Mike Farley says, I watched the Defense Mechanisms mech belt video again last night. The one thing that I'll say about it, if you're used to how you weave stuff on like your Molly belt, the only time I can get that tightness is when I use Defense Mechanisms, their Molly Plus system, which is just Velcro one wrap basically. And then it worked fine. But what I have set up right now, I have the Defense Mechanisms mech belt, and I have the HRT mag pouches, which I do agree with Walsh. I think they're better than the S-Tacs. That's my go-to. I don't have an IFAC on my kit yet, but I'm leaning towards Faro makes an IFAC. I forget what they call it, or the Defense Mechanisms fast kit. So that's I'm not sure on a belt-mounted IFAC yet. The dude says Ronin is still his favorite belt. Vertex has a holster. Shadowman saying he posted a link. Vertex makes a Velcro holster. Harry, the dude, that's what I have, and I haven't seen anything yet to make me want something else. Thing is solid. Yeah, it is. Ronin Senshi. Michael Farley, I'm in Arizona, so I fully expect to lose more weight during the summer when I start sweating my nuts off every night. 90+ degrees at night sucks. Yeah, I was just telling someone when I left Qatar, it was like September 5th. It was 5 a.m. It was 105 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Especially on that flight line.
Yeah. Yep. Waiting on the flight line. Golly, that was miserable.
Yeah.
The dude says, Harry, I'd be interested in seeing them come out with an update, but for now, I'm with you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's it. So, Dan says, I got to go. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap this up. We're at an hour and a half, practically an hour and 28 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody that stuck with us through this one.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you do, or if you did, Purple Book Club, he says he's still here over on Rumble. So we are going to try to make this a regular occurrence on Rumble.
I thought you meant Walsh not being here.
Yeah, that too. If
we're gonna call Don and get it.
Busy, so yeah. I get it if you can't make it. But if you guys like this, maybe we could do it. Plan it like, hey, once a month, Walsh. Why don't you take the wife out on a date Thursday night?
Right. Or we'll just go to Miss Walsh and have her get in on this.
So, guys, we're very appreciative of you sticking out with us. Hopefully, you enjoyed it over on Rumble. If you guys are on Rumble, thanks for sticking out. Thanks for being here. We this upcoming Sunday, it's a Walsh video, and I think it's a Pulsar thermal video, but it might be an optic. I don't remember, so I apologize for that. So, I think that's it. Joe, you got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next Thursday. Adios.